Morning, everyone. Good morning. Today is not just any other ceremony. I'm excited, I hope you are too, because we are celebrating Women's History Month, and Governor Bryan found it very important and needed to plan a day and fill the room with individuals of impact, resilience, vision, and power. I'm talking about women who are literally trailblazers. When women place themselves in positions to lead, communities shift. When women open their mouth to speak, rooms listen. And when women trailblaze, they don't just walk paths, they create them. Welcome to Her Legacy, Our Future, celebrating Virgin Islands Trailblazers recognition ceremony right here in Government House in St. Thomas. Today we gather to honor women who are shaping our territory, uplifting our people, and leaving a legacy that will echo far beyond this moment. My name is Nadaya A. Coy Thomas, and it is always a pleasure to be your mistress of ceremonies. Now, before we go any further, I have to ask, is there anyone in the room that is a part of the Beehive? Beyonce? Nobody? So I want to hear if when I say these words, y'all know what to do. Who run the world? Thank you very much. Y'all here with me today, okay? Happy Women's History Month. In a few, we will be starting the program, but before we get into that, I definitely want to acknowledge our distinguished guests and government officials. Good morning to the Honorable Albert Bryan Jr., Governor of the Virgin Islands of the United States. A special good morning to the Honorable Lisa M. Alejandro, Commissioner of the Department of Property and Procurement, who will lead us with the invocation and benediction today. We also acknowledge all of the members of the Governor's Cabinet and the Governor's senior staff. Good morning to the Honorable Reese S. Hodge, Chief Justice. A warm welcome to Shakima Jones Sprav, the St. John Administrator, who will be our songstress today. A special great morning to all of the honorees that are being honored today in our ceremony. And a special good morning to every single one of you in attendance today, and to the viewing and listening audience. Let us know where you're viewing from and congratulate all of our honorees in the comment section. Please join me at this time as we stand for the National Anthem and the Virgin Islands March, sung by St. John Administrator Shakima Sprav. Immediately following, we will have the invocation by Commissioner Lisa Alejandro, so please remain standing.
So proudly we hailed Let's fight for the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran the bursting to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, send us that star-spangled over the land of the free and the home of the brave. All hail our Virgin Islands, emeralds of the sea, where our beaches bright with coral sands, and trade winds bless our native lands. All hail our Virgin Islands, bed in waters blue. We give our loyalty full to the and pledge allegiance forever true. And God bless our Virgin Islands. Humbly now we pray, where all mankind can join today in friendly warmth of work and play. God bless our Virgin Islands, where beautiful and tall, beneath the sunny sky, hilltop high, heart will come from
Let us pray. Father, today we gather before you and in your presence with grateful hearts, thanking you, O God, for this day that your hands have made, and thanking you for those remarkable women who are trailblazers in our community, whose light has shined as examples of your purpose. Now we ask and we thank you, Lord, for the fire that you've placed within them, God, to melt barriers and the spirit of grace to walk in humility, vigor, and integrity. We ask you now that you will continue to bless and empower them for the days ahead and for the work until it's completed. We ask that you would be with them and strengthen them, O God, and so that those seeds that are yet to be planted and yet, O God, to grow will bring forth fruit for generations to come. This morning, and before we commit, as we commit this ceremony into your hands, we thank you for the vision and the leadership of Governor Bryan and for Lieutenant Governor Roach. Oh God, for seeing the purpose of women and for seeing the role and our contributions to the greater community and to the world above. Bless them, we pray. Strengthen the works of their hands and advance it for the betterment of your people and these Virgin Islands, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
You may be seated. Thank you, Shakima, for lending your beautiful voice, and to Commissioner Alejandro for your invocation. Thank you. Now, at this time in the program, we are going into the welcoming remarks, and Governor Bryan will be joining us later on in the program to give his remarks, but I will quote him for the welcoming remarks right about now. Governor Bryan has quoted that across the Virgin Islands, impact shows up in many ways. It is always felt. From strengthening communities to expanding opportunities, there are women whose work continues to shape this territory's direction every single day. In recognition of Virgin Islands History Month and Women's History Month, Governor Bryan honors 7 women whose leadership and service have made a lasting and meaningful difference across these islands. They are trailblazers not only for what they have achieved, but also for what they have made possible. Because of them, our young women do not have to look far for examples of leadership, courage, and vision. They can see it. They can feel it. They can recognize it in real time, right here in our home. These women are not just part of our story. They are helping to shape what is next. For Dr. Lindsay Wagner, Governor Bryan says, Dr. Lindsay Wagner has been a godsend to the Virgin Islands. She has been instrumental in creating pathways for families who have children with autism and behavioral disorders. Her dedication to her work and business sense enabled her to expand her services to St. Thomas and St. John districts. Because of her, many families no longer leave the territory to get the care that they need. For Dr. Ty Hunt Caesar, he said, is what many people would call a force across healthcare, education, and community. She played a pivotal role in the Virgin Islands' fight against COVID-19, while also leading efforts to advance the medical school. One of her most notable contributions was bringing a medical team to the territory that served over 2,000 people. She has been a pillar of excellence in our healthcare community. For Miss Lisa Hamilton, she has led the Virgin Islands tourism industry through some of the most difficult times, from the Great Recession to hurricanes and COVID-19. She has stood strong in support of not just hoteliers, but the wider community that depends on tourism. As a true tri-island leader, she has helped keep our #1 industry moving forward. For Adrienne Williams Actolin, she is the godmother of the Virgin Islands recovery. She and her team secured more than $25 billion in recovery funding and oversaw the distribution of over $1 billion during COVID-19 alone. When the Envision program stalled, her team stepped in to move forward, helping restore homes across the territory. Today, hundreds of homes have been rebuilt and billions in contracts have been issued under her leadership. For Janae Provost, Janae has been pouring into the youth of the Virgin Islands for over 18 years. A product of our public school system, she returned home to give others the same opportunity. From the classroom to leadership, she has kept her focus on making sure that our students have access to the arts. Today, she leads the St. John School of the Arts, continuing that work. Because of her, more of our young people are being exposed to creativity and opportunity. For Miss Jeanette Millen-Young, she has served the Virgin Islands through multiple terms in the legislature. Beyond her work as a policymaker, she has been a strong advocate for women in business. Through her nonprofit, she has created opportunities for women to build businesses and grow them successfully. Her work continues to open doors for women across the territory. And finally, his words to Miss Terry Helenese. She has served the Virgin Islands Washington representative for the Brian Roach administration for the past 7 years. During this time, she has played a role in securing major federal support for the territory. Her leadership in achievement and permanent run cover over stands out as a historic accomplishment, something that Virgin Islands worked towards for decades. Her work continues to strengthen the territory's future. We will be getting straight into our program, but before we do that, I want you to listen to the words of our Governor Albert Bryan Jr. and let it resonate with you as we hear a beautiful song, musical selection by Miss Shakima Sprav.
Good morning again. Happy Women's Month. Isn't it exciting? Are you guys open? You guys wake up? I wake up? I mean, come on now. Isn't this an exciting month? Now you wake up. Congratulations, ladies. Melania. So this is one of our honorees' daughter, and my brother from another mother-daughter, Mr. Eric and Mrs. Provost. And I called her last minute to do this today. When I saw her, I was like, all right, that's right. She danced to this song, so I hope you guys enjoyed your special gift of music and dance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yakima. At this time, we will be getting into the presentation of awards. That's exactly what we came here for today, right? We have some honorees in the building, and after I introduce you, you will be welcome to say a few congratulatory remarks. Our first honoree in the house today is Dr. Ty Hunt Caesar, who is the She is the Chief Medical Officer of the Virgin Islands Department of Health. Dr. Ty Hunt Caesar is a proud daughter of St. Thomas, whose career exemplifies dedication to public service, community health, and medical leadership in the USVI. As Chief Medical Officer of the Virgin Islands Department of Health, Dr. Hunt Caesar has provided critical medical leadership for public health initiatives, especially during the devastating hurricanes Irma and Maria, and throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. Her visionary leadership was instrumental in strengthening the territory's response to health crisis and advancing sustainable health care solutions. Beyond her role in public health, Dr. Hunt Caesar is the founding dean of the University of the Virgin Islands S. Donald Sussman School of Medicine, where she is shaping the next generation of medical professionals and improving access to medical education in the territory. She is board certified in internal medicine and infectious diseases, holding degrees from Howard University and the University of Miami, and leads infectious disease care at Schneider Regional Medical Center. Her contributions to the Virgin Islands community are numerous and impactful. Dr. Hunt Caesar brought medical teams to the territory that served thousands of residents, developed the annual USVI Health and Wellness Fair, and has championed programs to ensure accessibility, high-quality health care, preventive services across St. Croix, St. Thomas, and St. John. Deeply rooted in the community, she began her journey in local schools and youth organizations and remains committed to uplifting her home. Dr. Hunt Caesar is married to a local pharmacy owner and is a mother of one daughter. Her distinguished career is a testament to her leadership, service, and unwavering dedication to improving the health and well-being of the people of the USVI. Please welcome Dr. Ty Hunt Caesar.
Good morning, Governor Bryan, other distinguished guests, cabinet members, especially the honorees. Good morning to all friends and family. Congratulations to all of my fellow honorees. It's truly a joy to be here. To Governor Bryan and Lieutenant Governor Roach, thank you for this incredible honor To be recognized as a healthcare trailblazer during Women's History Month is deeply meaningful, and I am truly grateful. I stand here because of the women in healthcare of the USVI who paved the way for me. Trailblazers I deeply admire and on a day-to-day basis strive to emulate. Doctors Donna M. Christensen, Cora Christian, Ruth Watson, and the Honorable Justa Encarnacion. Their commitment to this community and service continue to guide me and provide me with a focused sense of purpose. Thank you, Commissioner Encarnacion, for your leadership and trust over the past 8 years. Your trust gives me the courage to push harder and to do more than I think I can ever achieve. Your trust in me is why we have made advancements in health equity and public health. I am the product of a family that shaped my values. My mother, Maureen Hunt, instilled in me that education and excellence are not optional, they are expected and non-negotiable. My father, Dr. Wishburn Hunt, taught me early about brain drain way before I was introduced to it as a global health student, as a core concept during my international health training. Because of your advice, I made the right decision to return home and serve rather than serving in a foreign community. To my husband, Christopher Caesar, thank you for your unwavering support and encouragement as recently as the pep talk last week when I was nervous about my presentation in Trinidad, for standing beside me, for reminding me, even when I resist, to take care of myself by trying to say no, because I never say no when asked to do something. To my daughter, Sage, she's not here, she's in school, who inspires me every day with her creativity and bravery. She pushes me to do more and be braver. If she can free dive and touch reef sharks without fear at 10 years old, I shouldn't be afraid to do things that I'm literally a subject matter expert in. These 4 make up the council that manages me. But there's still one more very important woman to recognize, my big sister, attorney Natalia Thomas, CHS class of '94, and proud Howard and FAMU graduate. I followed her to Howard, where she made sure I survived and thrived coming from a tiny island to a big city. Then I followed her to Florida, where we both continued our professional journeys. Unfortunately, she didn't follow me home, instead remaining in Florida, but her impact is continuous and unmeasurable. I want to thank my uncle, Chief Justice Reese Hodge, for helping the Hunts with building our foundation. We are forever grateful. For quietly cheering me on, and for always offering wise counsel when I need it most. Thanks to you and Auntie Jean, and my cousins Regine, Joseph, Jerome, and Larisse. This honor is not mine, it belongs to all those who have invested and believed in me, and especially to the patients I serve, who are often the most vulnerable and shunned by society. Thank you again, Governor Bryan and Lieutenant Governor Roach, and I will continue to do my best every day as a requisite for accepting this esteemed honor.
Congratulations. Next up, Jeanette Milling Young, founder and principal of Milling Young Consulting. Jeanette Milling Young is a founder and principal of Milling Young Consulting, a St. Thomas-based firm specializing in public relations, government affairs, and special events, where she partners with organizations of all sizes, including global brands such as Coca-Cola. She is a former 4-term senator of the Virgin Islands Legislature and has curated state and business development events and produced 12 women empowerment conferences, first through Women Strive for Success, Inc., the nonprofit organization she founded and led for 10 years, and now through the Women of Resilience Conference, summits, forums, and business expos. A longtime community advocate, she has devoted her career to advancing good governance, civic engagement, economic development initiatives, and opportunities for women and girls across the Virgin Islands. An author and storyteller at heart, Milling Young wrote Because They Dared, a book that uplifts stories of women through history and around the world. She continues to use her platform to spotlight women's leadership and legacy. Balancing professional excellence with her roles as wife and mother, she credits the love and support of her husband, Kutil, and their son, Joshua, as well as a powerful example of her late grandmother, Senator Lucinda Millen, and public health nurse, Rafaela Rodriguez, as her late father, Lieutenant Governor Henry A. Millen, together with her mother, philanthropist Graciela Millen, for grounding her work and inspiring her commitment to future generations. Unfortunately, Miss Jeanette Milling Young could not make it today, so she has two representatives, Miss Lisa and Miss Esther, who will be receiving her award on her behalf. Next up with our honorees today is Miss Lisa Hamilton, President of the United States Virgin Islands Hotel and Tourism Association. Lisa Hamilton is a dynamic force in Caribbean tourism, and she has been instrumental in guiding the U.S. Virgin Islands through major challenges, including the Great Recession, devastating hurricanes, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Her leadership exerts beyond hoteliers and the entire community that relies on tourism, ensuring the resilience and continued growth of the region's most vital industry. Originally from Savannah, New York, Hamilton began her hospitality career at the Montauk Yacht Club and swiftly progressed to leadership roles. Relocating to St. Thomas in 1992, she joined Marriott Frenchman Reefs Hotel, rising to regional sales director and director of sales and marketing. Since 2008, Hamilton has served as the president of the United States Virgin Islands Hotel and Tourism Association, leading with distinction. Her regional influence is further reflected in her roles as president of the Caribbean Society of Hotel Association Executives from 2012 to 2014 and from 2022 to 2024. And SCAL International St. Thomas from 2008 to 2010. Hamilton's dedication to youth and community development is evident through her board service with the Boys and Girls Club of the Virgin Islands and My Brother's Workshop. Her accolades include Boys and Girls Club of America's Champion of Youth Award in 2016, and the Caribbean Hotel Association Executive of the Year Award in 2017. And in 2025, she became the first Hotel Association executive elected as Regional Vice President of the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association. Please welcome Miss Lisa Hamilton for her award.
Good morning. You know, I never get nervous public speaking, but this one is definitely when it's about you. Governor, thank you. Protocol having already been established. I'm deeply honored to be recognized as a 2026 Her Legacy, Our Future VI Trailblazers honoree. I accept this award with sincere gratitude and humility. To be included among such remarkable women is truly meaningful, and I thank Governor Bryan and everyone involved in this recognition for this incredible honor. Today, I first want to acknowledge my mother, who was a career waitress for 40 years. She put me through college, taught me some of the most important lessons of life: to be fearless, to work hard, and to keep pushing forward in the face of adversity. Her strength, sacrifice, and determination laid the foundation for everything I have accomplished, and I carry her example with me every day. I've also been blessed with extraordinary mentors that have helped me shape my path. Mary Gleason, Vice President of Sales at Frenchman's Reef, helped guide my career and showed me what strong, capable leadership looks like. Nick Purcell, he gave me the opportunity to grow from an entry-level manager to the Director of Sales and Marketing. His confidence in me helped change the trajectory of my professional life. I'm also grateful for the peers that I've learned so much from along the way, including former Commissioner of Tourism Beverly Nicholson Doty and current Commissioner of Tourism Jennifer Matarengas King. Their leadership, wisdom, and commitment to our industry have taught me a great deal. I'd like to thank Ed Thomas, Mike DeLugo, and Governor Bryan for teaching me governance and helping me navigate the complexities of leadership within a challenging political environment. Your guidance has been invaluable. This recognition is not mine alone. It belongs to many people who believed in me, challenged me, mentored me, and walked beside me throughout this journey. To include those joining me here today, I'd like to acknowledge the Chairman of the Hotel Association, Mr. Scott Derrickson, the Vice Chairman of our association, Mr. Joel Kling, and a very dear friend of mine for decades, Miss Amy Gurlia. Thank you for being with me today to celebrate. And lastly, I want to recognize my Caribbean sisters, who are members of the Caribbean Society of Hotel Association Executives. Without them, I wouldn't have excelled as far as I did with the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association. Miss Clarissa Jimenez with Puerto Rico, Miss Stacy Cox with Turks and Caicos, and Miss Gilda Gum Samuel with Anguilla. I remain committed to serving the islands, supporting our tourism industry, and helping build a stronger future for the Virgin Islands. Thank you so much.
Congratulations again, Ms. Hamilton. And next up, Miss Lindsay Wagner, PhD. Lindsay Wagner is a licensed clinical psychologist and pediatric neuropsychologist, as well as the owner and CEO of Island Therapy Solutions. She is the founder and board president of Coral Reef Academy, a school serving children with autism and developmental disabilities, and a co-founder of Prospect Hill Recovery and Wellness Center, a comprehensive program dedicated to supporting individuals and families on their paths to healing and mental wellness. Her clinical expertise includes diagnostic, and neuropsychological evaluations, forensic neuropsychological assessments, and consultation and training for children and families presenting with learning disabilities, neurological disorders, and emotional and behavioral challenges. She is also highly specialized in the diagnosis and treatment of autism spectrum disorder, offering social skills groups in addition to individual and family therapy. Appointed by the governor, Dr. Wagner serves as vice chair of the Virgin Islands Board of Psychology. Dr. Wagner taught at the University of the Virgin Islands and previously served as director of training at the Watson Institute in Pennsylvania. She earned her doctorate from the American School of Professional Psychology, in Washington, D.C., and completed 2 years of advanced training at Children's National Medical Center in Washington, D.C., within the Pediatric Neuropsychology units. Please welcome Dr. Wagner.
Good morning. Thank you to the Honorable Albert Bryant Jr., pastor, members of the governing cabinet, and senior staff, fellow honorees, and all other guests. Standing here today as a VI Trailblazer honoree is a moment I will cherish for the rest of my life. To be recognized by the Governor of the Virgin Islands and the Virgin Islands community is an honor beyond words. When Island Therapy Solutions began 16 years ago, it wasn't in a fancy building or a big staff. It started up in a little attic space in Sunny Isle with a desk, a dream, and the belief that the people of the Virgin Islands deserved better mental health care and that understood the culture, the history, our joys, and our ways of life. From those humble beginnings to 3 offices across St. Croix, St. Thomas, with over 130 employees, our growth reflects something powerful. When the Virgin Islands commits to healing, transformation follows. Through the 2017 hurricanes, through COVID-19, through all the heavy moments that tested our spirits, I watched this community do what we always do: pick each other up, lean in on one another, and find strength and togetherness. The resilience is the heartbeat of these islands. One of the proudest moments of my career was founding Coral Reef Academy, a school for children with developmental disabilities. We created it because our children deserve a better place where emotional and behavioral challenges could be addressed with compassion, with expertise, and with cultural understanding. When what started as a response to a pressing need became a sanctuary of growth, a space where young people could stabilize, they could learn, and thrive without having to leave home or be separated from families. Coral Reef Academy represents our belief that every child in the Virgin Islands deserves a safe place, a place to heal, and that early intervention can change the trajectory of a young person's life. We have worked hard not only to expand services, but to expand opportunity. Building a behavioral health workforce right here at home has been one of the greatest blessings of this journey. To the students, interns, and young professionals, seeing you grow into confident, skilled therapists reminds me why this work matters. Our future is bright because we are raising up our own. One example of that is Dr. Sophia Parisia, who's our clinical director at Island Therapy. She started out as an intern at Island Therapy Solutions. I am equally proud of the innovations we brought to the territory: ABA therapy, TMS, Spravato, residential care, and soon the opening of an autism center on St. Croix. These aren't just programs, they are proof that world-class care belongs right here in the Virgin Islands and not on a plane to the mainland. To my Island Therapy Solutions family, thank you for bringing your heart, your passion, and your VI pride into everything that you do. You make this work not only possible, but meaningful. None of this would be possible without a truly compassionate and dedicated team. To my colleagues across the territory, clinicians, educators, advocates, and partners, thank you for standing shoulder to shoulder with us in the mission to make mental health accessible, respected, and rooted in cultural understanding. To my friends and family, thank you for grounding me, loving me, and reminding me to rest, even when I don't listen. And thank you to the people of the Virgin Islands. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for walking this journey with us. Thank you for believing that healing is not a weakness, but a strength. And thank you for showing every day what true resilience looks like. Today I accept this award with deep gratitude and deep pride in the Virgin Islands. May we continue to break barriers, nurture our own, and build a future where every person, every child, every elder, every family member feels seen, supported, and empowered. Thank you, and may God bless the Virgin Islands.
Congratulations. We have just a few more honorees. Our next honoree today is Miss Adrienne L. Williams-Octolin. Adrienne L. Williams-Octolin is a director of Virgin Islands Office of Disaster Recovery. She is a skilled leader with a 20-plus year diverse background in executive leadership. She has a sharp eye for process improvement and extensive experience in managing federal programs. Governor Albert Bryan Jr. selected her to serve as a director of Office of Disaster Recovery in February 2019, where she oversees the utilization of nearly $25 billion in federal funding from Hurricanes Irma and Maria and over $1 billion in COVID-19 funds. Before becoming the director of ODR, she held various leadership roles at FEMA, overseeing the public assistance and hazard mitigation grant programs. She also served as the executive director of the Housing Finance Authority. While there, she successfully led the development of 7 home ownership and rental communities, creating 332 new housing opportunities valued at $69 million. Ms. Williams-Octolin has also contributed her leadership, time, and skills to support community initiatives and committees. The Honorable Governor Charles Turnbull appointed her to serve on the Virgin Islands Commission on the Status of Women, and the Honorable Governor John D. Young Jr. appointed her to the Lottery Commission and the Housing Authority Board of Directors. She was also the co-founder and president of Generation Now, Inc., a unique activist organization dedicated to improving the quality of life for every, Virgin Islander. The director currently holds a position on Banco Popular's The director currently serves on Banco Popular's New Market Tax Credit PCC Advisory Board. Adrienne is a committed parent and spouse, drawing her motivation from her children, Paul and Alani, and through the steadfast support of her husband, McLivens Octolin. Director William Octolin will continue to use her skills and expertise to improve the lives of all residents, ensuring that her years of service will leave behind a legacy of resilience. Please welcome to the podium Ms. Adrienne L. Williams-Octolin.
Good morning. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord. I do want to give him thanks and honor for this appreciation this morning, and also to you, Governor Bryan and Lieutenant Governor Roach, for allowing me to share the stage with these phenomenal women here today. I am eternally grateful and have to go back to my foundation. If you know me on St. Croix, you know that, well, you maybe not know this, but my brother calls me the aristocrat goat hoarder. Means that the foundation that I have came from very, very early beginnings where we understood responsibility and work ethic. I had to tie out the goats before, up until 10th grade, when I told my mother, I said, "Mommy, I am now a young lady. I shouldn't be tying out goats." But it instilled a work ethic to no matter what we undertook, that we knew we had to do the very best that we could. And I also want to just acknowledge that I stand on the shoulders of my grandmother, Lavina Lang, a stalwart for the Lord, but also a stalwart for whatever, helping people, and we understand service. And every day I live that and try to ensure that I honor the legacy and the foundation that I stand on. I also want to just say thank you to the family, and also, women, and the governor shared this meme with me one day where, and many of you may have seen it before, where there was a race, and there were women in the race, and there were men in the race, and the men's lanes was clear. And in front of the women's lane was the washing machine, the dishes, the children, soccer games. So to all of the women leaders in these here Virgin Islands, during this month and every other month, I salute you. I salute you because you know what it takes to continue to lead in the boardroom and still come home and remember not to lead in the home and be submissive to the husband. But just juggling all the many responsibilities that come with being a woman leader. And I also want to just say thank you to all my family, my aunts, my uncles. I have to hail the great state of Brown Hill. Anybody know where Brown Hill is? Brown Hill is in Nevis. And I didn't know it was a state until my uncle gave me that history. But you have to know where you came from to know where you're going. So all the families, I don't have any sisters, my sister-in-laws, everyone, my cousins, they're the ones that always come to pitch in and make sure that they're able to continue the service that's done. And I also want to say thank you. They said iron sharpeneth iron, and very early on I was able to meet a group of young Virgin Islanders who wanted to build a quality of life. And because of them, my iron stayed sharp. And all of the Generation Now members that are holding responsibilities across the government of the Virgin Islands, we set out to improve the quality of life, and I know every single day you continue to give of yourselves. And also, just to say thank you to my Autobots. If anybody knows, the Office of Disaster Recovery, we hold the responsibility of rebuilding the Virgin Islands after Irma and Maria very, very seriously. Every day it's a challenge. And anyone who thinks that this is easy, just come spend a day. Being able to navigate all of the requirements, navigate the responsibilities and what it takes to spend what is equivalent to the government's operating budget. That's what the Office of Disaster Recovery is. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you, my Autobots. If you know us at Battle of the Agency, yes, we roll out every time. But we don't just roll out for competition, we roll out every day for the Virgin Islands. And I really want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. My children, Paul and Alani, that's where I get my inspiration. And my grandson, Jaden Armani, as well as Amir. You ask why you do it so you can make sure that they have a place to live and call home. So every day we wake up and make it happen. And to my husband, who falls asleep next to me on my laptop. And then I tap him and say, Okay, I finish now. Thank you. Thank you for when I come home really struggling. He greases me up with a Vaseline and he tells me, you got this, and he throws me back out in the ring. And I'm stronger. But it all takes a lot to make sure that we continue to give every single day. And I just say thank you. I'm very, very grateful from the bottom of my heart, because building a legacy of resilience has been my motto, and will continue to strive towards that end, because I do love these here Virgin Islands. Thank you.
Excellent. And next up, our next honoree is Miss Terry Helenese. Terry Helenese is the Virgin Islands Washington representative for the Brian Roach administration and Director of State Federal Relations. Terry Helenese is the Virgin Islands Washington representative for the Brian Roach administration and Director of State Federal Relations, serving in that position for 7 years. She has been instrumental in securing federal support for the territory, notably achieving the permanent rum cover over, a historic economic win after decades of effort. Her leadership has been vital to ensuring the territory's financial stability and future growth. Helene's advocacy resulted in $1 billion in rum cover over funding and the Senate passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill, which permanently extends the rum cover over and enhanced opportunity zones. These victories fund pensions, public services, infrastructure, and stabilize the budget, enabling the Virgin Islands to plan with greater confidence. In 2025, she worked with Tropical Shipping, the White House, and U.S. Trade Representative to secure a $1 million port fee exemption. Exemption protecting local jobs and business operations. Helenese also pioneered partnerships in technology and education, bringing NASA to the territory to inspire students, and collaborating with Google to provide critical COVID-19 information. Helenese has bridged sports and tourism, organizing a 2019 Major League Soccer event that boosted St. Croix's economy by $500,000 post-Hurricanes Irma and Maria. She filled accommodations, uplifted morale, and promoted community health. She also preserved cultural heritage by obtaining U.S. copyright for the USVI Madras textile. Her career began at Booz Allen Hamilton and Big Four firms, contributing to federal security programs like Transportation Worker Identification Credential, which now protects ports nationwide. Her work at Deloitte during the post-9/11 creation of the Department of Homeland Security shaped her commitment to national security and innovation. As Director of HR at Diageo USVI, Helenese established the HR platform at the Captain Morgan Rum Distillery, hiring and training 97% Virgin Islanders and instituting performance bonuses. Born and raised on St. Croix, Terry is married to Alexander Debois, also of St. Croix, and they have two accomplished daughters, Gabrielle and Crystal. Helenese's legacy is marked by her deep commitment to economic, cultural, and social well-being of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Please welcome Ms. Terry Helenese.
Good morning, and thank you, Governor Bryan, Lieutenant Governor Tregenza Roach, cabinet members, my husband, Alex, my daughters, Gabrielle and Crystal, Father Modeste Digwu, ladies and gentlemen. I am deeply honored to be recognized as a 2026 Her Legacy, Our Future VI Women Trailblazers honoree. During Women's History Month, this recognition carries even greater meaning as we celebrate the women who have paved the way and those who continue to push boundaries for generations to come. This moment is especially meaningful to me as I reflect on the legacy of leadership, service, and faith that have shaped my journey. Those values were instilled in me by my father, Deacon Arnold Helenice, who is here with me this morning, and I have carried them with me every single step of the way. I want to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to Governor Albert Bryan Jr. for his leadership and for entrusting me to represent his administration in Washington, D.C. The opportunity is a responsibility to advocate for our people at the highest levels of government. I have had the privilege of walking the halls of Congress and going door to door to educate members about the lifeblood funding of rum cover-over, work that helped bring long-term stability and certainty to the Virgin Islands. This specific experience and all areas of advocacy strengthened my belief that when we show up prepared, persistent, and united, we can achieve outcomes that once seemed out of reach. They say the best indicator of future performance is past performance. In bringing $1 billion and rum cover-over permanency for the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, I say this is true. And my performance is defined by the results of my hard work and driven by my unwavering dedication to this territory. Today, that same commitment continues. To my fellow honorees, congratulations, a hearty congratulations. It is a privilege to stand alongside such accomplished and impactful women. Each of you represents the very spirit of this award: leadership, resilience, and a commitment to lifting others as you climb. And to the next generation of young women watching, know that your voice matters, your work matters, and your future is full of possibilities. We are here for you. Thank you again for this honor. May we continue to lead, to serve, and to build a stronger Virgin Islands together.
Congratulations again. We have one more honoree today for our Virgin Islands Trailblazers. Our next honoree is Janae Provost, who is Executive Director at the St. John School of Arts. over 18 years, Janae Provost has dedicated her personal and professional talents to educating and serving the youth of the U.S. Virgin Islands in the roles of an academic teacher, teaching artist, coach, district program manager for educator, professional development, and an assistant principal. Born and raised in the U.S. Virgin Islands and a product of public education, she knew firsthand the importance of receiving an outlet of artistic expression, but not always having access to those opportunities. Giving back to her community was always non-negotiable. So after completing a bachelor's degree in mass media arts and a master's degree in education, she made the decision to return to her beautiful island to ensure students like herself, passionate and artistic, had arts education opportunities both in and outside the academic classroom. In 2016, Janae was chosen as the Virgin Islands State Teacher of the Year, but longed to be more involved in arts education. Presently, she serves as the Executive Director of the St. John's School of the Arts, a nonprofit organization that provides in-school, after-school, and community arts programming. In this role, she has developed and expanded programs that broaden the organization's reach, including in-school initiatives designed to enhance arts education on St. John and community-based programs such as arts exploration opportunities at the Adrian Senior Center. She has also worked to increase student scholarships, reduce costs for after-school programming, and introduce initiatives focused on cultural preservation. Her current roles speak to both her passions, the arts of education, and the guiding principle that every child has the opportunity to strive through imagination, inspiration, and the community's dedication. Please welcome for her award, Ms. Janae Provost.
Since you thought I needed it, I'll use it. Protocol being established, good morning. I'm not sure if I drank truth serum this morning or if I'm just using this as free therapy. But honestly, there's nothing that I do that ever seems to live up to the title of trailblazing. I come from a family of love, faith, and service. And so everything that I do just seems like the normal, regular response to what my responsibilities are in whatever role I am. My husband says I just can't take a compliment, but I'm always right, so that's not the case. But, you know, this is truly, truly an honor. Years ago, when I was doing my undergraduate degree, many, many years ago, and I know it doesn't seem or look that way, but many years ago, my friends all wanted to get tattoos, and I was the Debbie Downer of the group, and I said, what tattoo, what does it mean? Let's do some research spreadsheets. And so doing the research, I stumbled upon the word Ubuntu, which is actually an African philosophy of humanity and humanness. It's loosely translated, it means I am because we are. So a person is who they are because of others. So the interconnectedness, and so it emphasizes the importance of spirituality, of solidarity empathy, respect, dignity, and community. And so, no, I am not a trailblazer. I am honestly just practicing that philosophy. For I stand on the shoulders of those that came before me, and eventually those that come after me will stand on my shoulders. You know, in the role of the executive director of the St. John School of the Arts, I just saw the need to restructure the school in a way that would bring full potential to the reach that it would have. And so I was a party of one for a few years, creating after-school programmings. We have 22 now. In-school programs where we offer free to the schools on St. John. Programs like Open Arms, which creates opportunities for students with IEPs and special needs to get adaptive art program. They're actually showcasing their art at the Children's Museum. I dropped off the artwork this morning, so please stop by this week and see that. At the Adrian Senior Center, making sure that our seniors have access to arts education, movement, dance. And I'm happy to say that after working alone, I was able to get an office manager who is equally yoked. And so, Ms. Mormi Adarumu, thank you. I had to say thank you because you help to make what we do look like trailblazing. And as much as I've accomplished and I have done, there's no greater role than that of being a mother. And so to my 15-year-old daughter, whom they often think she's my sister, thank you for always challenging me, reminding me that every day and every minute counts, and for inspiring me. And Mommy, who's watching, who couldn't be here today because she's recovering from surgery, thank you for equipping me with the tools necessary to play that role well. As I said, I was born into a family of love and faith and service, and I was blessed enough to marry into one. Thank you to my husband for 27 years of supporting me. He always makes the joke if I dress up nice. He say, hey, make sure they don't thief you away. Say, they ain't gonna thief me, but if they do, they're gonna bring me back. Because only God has gifted you the gift to be able to handle all of this. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I humbly accept this honor to the Honorable Governor Albert Bryan and all who made this possible. I guess I'll just continue trailblazing because the gifts that God has given me are not my own. They are meant to be shared, and especially shared with this community. To all the honorees, you continue as well to trailblaze. Because I know, just like me, it seems just what needs to be done and what has to be done. And again, I am honored, and thank you.
And with his closing remarks, please stand as we welcome to the podium the Honorable Albert Bryan Jr., Governor of the United States Virgin Islands.
Good morning, and please be seated. You had your exercise for you there. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Good afternoon to all the honorees and everyone else who's joining us today. Certainly, someone asked me why I was doing this, and I said, well, women are very important to me. As it stands, I was born from a woman. Fancy that. Genevieve Aurelia Pilgrim Bryan, who gave me the strength and the grit that I'm able to take all these blows that people always telling me to be taking every day. Another one, Grace Iris Wilson, my grandmother, taught me to tie my shoes and to count and to pray. Another one, Ubaldina Westerman, my great-grandmother, taught me that life was finite and why we should take care of our seniors. Taught me patience, taught me a lot of love. Another one, sitting in here, Adrian Williams, told me that, I'm an eagle and I'm pecking around with chickens and I need to go back to school. And helped me and taught me a lot about what I go through every day. I have two women as daughters, Aaliyah and Samaya Bryan, whom I admire much. My best friend is a woman, Josephine Christian Harvey. Taught me how to listen. That's something that men don't do well. Women taught me equality. I mean, when you're born a West Indian man, you think you know it all. And this is a male-dominated society. At least the women have fooled us into thinking so. I'm surrounded by women in my cabinet, and every day they inspire me by their strength and their resilience. I have to say, one of the things that I'm glad I will never be called is mommy, because my daughters categorically passed my side of the bed and then went and threw up on their mother, Yolanda Caballivia Bryan. Women are the backbone of our society. They are the ones that pick us up when we're down. They humbly make sure that the details are taken care of. You know, today when I did this, there was no committee for this. Like, I picked these women myself. You know, these are women that are just a sampling of who we have in our community that represent strong Caribbean women. And they are of this community. You know, they were picked because they go through it. I mean, Lisa Hamilton, you know, imagine having, I'd be upset when one hotelier called me. She got answer to all of them. You know, it's never enough tourists in the Virgin Islands, trust that. Certainly Janae, I remember when she walked up with me in St. John telling me she's not going to be a teacher anymore. She's going over to do this. I was like, what? What are you doing? She said, no, man, they're going to be all right. She's done an amazing job over there. And humility is good, but, you know, I'll tell you a little story. I used to, you know, I never really wanted to be a politician. I wanted to be a governor. There's a difference somehow. And Carl told me, he says, I'm going to make you a politician and then I'm going to dislike you immensely. But going as a politician, I used to feel bad going to people's funerals. Because, you know, I was to say, like, you know, it seems like you're a grubby politician just looking for votes. But over the 7 years, I have learned that showing up as a governor isn't about you. It's about the office. It's about ensuring people that somebody cares about them. Somebody took the time out of their busy day to come and grace them with their presence and honor them for being, or whatever, whether it's a birthday party or a homegoing, a graduation. People feel good that the office, not so much me, maybe Govy come, showed up. Ty, you know, Ty is a beast. You know, she and Janae, you put two of them on top one another, you barely get to 6 feet tall. But you don't want to deal with any of them individually. They may get a step, but don't let it fool you. They are serious characters. Ty is just like, you know, my good friend Hugo Hodge, you have this word, he's calling it immerse now. They're just people in this community that show up everywhere all the time. They're like the same people doing everything. Like, we need some help, people. And she's one of those people and just does it like nothing. You know, I forget she's actually, she don't ever feel it. I just call her Ty, but she's Dr. Hunt. You know, Caesar. I'd always mix up what come first, right, Adrian? Who did I miss? Who else I missed? Janet Millen Young. I know Janet from time I was working in Innovative. Met her there as a PR person. Remember when she told me she was going to run for the Senate? But the one thing I love about, and which I want to prove too, is after you serve, you still continue to do for the community in so many different ways, empowering women in business and lifting women up. Lindsay, like a whole ramrod by herself. I mean, these are people that you have to call them to see if they are right. They don't call you. And when they call you, you know it's something. And it's never for them. It's for other people. What she has been able, you know, I had a golf tournament the other day and people were, oh, the first governor's golf tournament was so great and it's so sad that this is your last year, you know. I said, no, Coral Reef was the first benefit golf tournament we had. I think that was in year 1. We did that benefit, and they painted me, the kids painted me this lovely painting. I still have it hanging at Government House in St. Croix. Thank you, Lindsay, for what you do. So when people say we're not doing anything in the Virgin Islands about mental health and behavioral health, like, yes, there are people here working, bringing back people, working hard every single day to make sure that we're okay. Terry, I know Terry a long time too. I'd call her Wonder Bread. She know why. But I tell people, you don't need to send Terry to Washington. Terry is already in Washington doing great things. I gotta say, you gotta give Jacket. A lot of times, sometimes I even give up on some of the things, and Terry's there plugging away all the time, going to those meetings, making sure she makes those settings with the congressmen, fundraisers, whatever it is, day or night, traveling, whatever, to make sure that the Virgin Islands is represented and we get things done. I cover everybody, right? Who I didn't mention? I didn't say Adrienne. I save her for last because when we formed Generation, people don't know, well, I say it everywhere I go, so people may know now. In 2002, we formed Generation Now so that young Virgin Islanders would have a voice in what happens in the Virgin Islands. At the time, nobody was studying us. When you're in your 20s and early 30s, most people don't even vote. But we felt that insurance was too high, the government wasn't accountable, childcare wasn't where it was to be, education wasn't where it need to be. So we formed an organization in 2002 called Generation Now. Adrian came to me in 2005 and said, I'm gonna bring down Jesse Jackson. And I was, girl, you out of your mind. Why the hell Jesse Jackson would come to the Virgin Islands? We didn't get Jesse Jackson, but we got Roland Martin. And Roland Martin came in 2006 where we honored 50 Virgin Islands, the Emerging Leaders Award, and said, take it over. He said, take it over. So in 2007, we decided we would take over the government. In 2014, we ran our first candidate, which was Novell Francis, and in 2019, I was elected governor of the Virgin Islands. The whole time in that organization, I was the vice president. I supported a strong woman who was president, who was Adrienne Williams. And every time I was like, you should run for governor, she would be like, yuck. She taught me that you have people for everything in life, but it takes teams to really make things happen. And I knew she didn't want to get honored today. I had to kind of like twist her arm and force her to take it. Just like she made me force and take the Emerging Leaders Awards many, many years ago. The one thing I like about all these women have in common is that they empower other women and other people. They pass on, they teach, they help, they keep the ladder down, and they constantly try to improve other women. I have to remind a lot of women all the time, women, y'all on the same team. You're supposed to uplift and uphold your sister at all times. It's tough being a woman. Like I said, I don't want anyone would want to be a woman, from my perspective. It is very tough. When I go home, I don't want to go cook and do nothing like that. I want to go lay down. I don't want nobody vomiting on me. No. And I don't want, and then the pressure to be every woman is immense. And then fooling men into thinking they're in charge is a lot of work too. You're right, yeah, that's why they're laughing, because we are not in charge. Trust me, I live with a woman who'd make me think I'm in charge too. I say this all to say that it's important that we recognize people in general, but strong women, Caribbean women from all walks of life that come here and make our lives a little better every day. Thank you for all you do. God bless you. Love you. Let us eat.
Please be seated. Well, actually, you're going to stand in a few for the benediction. So you can go ahead and stand up now. Thank you for your closing remarks, Governor Bryan. At this time, we will have the Honorable Lisa M. Alejandro with the benediction, and immediately following, we will have a buffet-styled lunch by Nibs Catering. Congrats to all of the honorees today.
The Bible admonishes us to give and show tribute unto them to whom it is due. It also admonishes us to give honor to where honor is due, where custom is due, that we do those things. In doing those things, we fulfill God's word and his message to the nations and to the world. With that being said, may the words of our mouth and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, our God, strength and redeemer. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you.
All honorees, please come to the front to take pictures with Governor Bryan. Please come to the front, all honorees. And then shortly, we'll break table by table to join the buffet.